Sarah's fingers trembled against her phone screen. Another day without a message from Adnan. The third day. 3 days of silence, as if the earth had swallowed him whole. What's wrong with him? Sarah whispered to herself, feeling tears well up in her eyes. When she first met Adnan at the university, it felt like the world had stopped spinning. There was something magical in his dark eyes, an endless warmth in his smile. 6 months had passed since their love began, and Sarah had never imagined someone could become so deeply woven into her soul. Every moment with Adnan felt like paradise. Hours spent talking on campus benches, secret meetings in the library corners, and late-night phone calls filled with dreams and whispered promises. For the first time in her life, Sarah felt truly alive, as if colors had finally entered her black and white world. But today, her phone buzzed. Adnan's name lit up the screen, and her heart raced. Sarah, I need to see you. Can you meet me at the park? Something was different in his voice. Not joy, but a deep, aching sadness. Adnan was already at the park when she arrived, sitting on their usual bench with his eyes fixed on the ground. When he saw her, he stood up, but his beautiful smile was nowhere to be found. Adnan, what's going on? You've been silent for 3 days. Sarah's voice was shaking. Adnan took a deep breath. Sarah, I came here to tell you that. What? My engagement has been arranged. Those words hit Sarah like a physical blow. The world tilted beneath her feet, and she felt herself falling into an abyss. What do you mean? She barely managed to whisper. My father, he wants me to marry my cousin. The decision was made when we were children. I didn't know, but now. Then what were we? Sarah's voice cracked with pain. What were these 6 months? What was this love? Tears filled Adnan's eyes. Sarah, you are my life. But what can I do? How can I face my parents? How can I? You're a coward. Sarah screamed. If you really loved me, you would fight, for yourself, for us. Adnan remained silent. He had no words, no fight left in him. Sarah realized then that love really does kill. Not the body, but the soul. She turned and walked away, leaving Adnan sitting alone on the bench where they had shared so many dreams. 2 years later, Sarah had become a successful journalist. She had buried herself in work, transforming her pain into powerful words. Today, she was covering a wedding for the lifestyle section of her magazine. When she entered the grand ballroom, her breath caught in her throat. The groom sat on the decorated chair, Adnan. Their eyes met across the crowded room. There was no joy on Adnan's face, only a quiet mourning. In his eyes, she saw the same pain that had been eating at her heart for 2 years. Sarah realized that love truly kills both the one who leaves and the one who is left behind. Something inside both of them had died that day in the park, and it would never come back to life. She raised her camera and began taking pictures, but only one thought echoed in her mind. Love kills, but we still love, because without love, life has no meaning at all. The bride, beautiful in her red and gold dress, smiled radiantly as she sat beside Adnan. Sarah noticed how Adnan's hand trembled slightly as he placed the ring on his bride's finger. Even in his moment of supposed happiness, he looked like a man attending his own funeral. Later, during the reception, Sarah was packing her equipment when she felt someone behind her. Sarah! She turned. Adnan stood there, still in his wedding clothes, looking lost. Congratulations, she said quietly. Don't, he whispered. Please don't. They stood in silence for a moment, surrounded by the sounds of celebration. Are you happy? Sarah asked, though she already knew the answer. Adnan's laugh was bitter. Happiness? I died 2 years ago in that park. This, he gestured toward the celebration. This is just my body going through the motions. Then why? Sarah's voice was barely audible. Because sometimes love means destroying yourself to protect the people you care about. I couldn't destroy my family's honor, Sarah. I couldn't. You destroyed us instead. I destroyed myself too. Sarah looked at him one last time. Goodbye, Adnan. As she walked away, she understood the cruel truth. Sometimes the greatest act of love is letting go, even when it kills you. And sometimes, that death lasts forever. The end. 6 months later, Sarah would publish a best-selling novel titled Love Kills. Critics would praise its raw emotional honesty, never knowing it was torn from the author's own bleeding heart. And somewhere across town, Adnan would read those words and recognize the pieces of his own shattered soul scattered across every page, understanding finally that some wounds never heal, they just teach you how to live with the pain. Because love doesn't just kill once. It kills you every single day, in small, quiet ways, until you learn that being alive and being dead aren't always different things.